Hello, so welcome to step 6 in the Giving It Up in 6 Steps. And this really is that final stage. And it's really a kind of amalgamation of everything you've done before, but it really is about looking at this as the new norm. It's looking at what you've created for yourself, the changes that you've made in your mind and in your subconscious as being now, forever, as being who you are and now what you do. So whereas the other videos you may have done a week apart and focused on for a week, or maybe a month apart and focused on for that month, this stage is basically endless. It's timeless, but you can keep coming back to it whenever you need to. So first of all, I want to congratulate you for getting this far, for working through these 6 steps, for getting to this point, and maybe for doing the thing that you thought that you would never do, the thing that has been a struggle for you for a long time. So these steps are really tantamount to what you can do. And you can know now that if you can get this far, you can make this your norm. You can make this the forever. Sometimes this step is referred to as maintenance, and I've chosen not to call it that and instead to call it enjoy. And the reason for this is because maintenance has a suggestion that there's still work to be done, that you're still every now and again coming back to it, that it's effort that's still ongoing. And when you work with your subconscious in the way that we have, the emphasis is on really enjoying and freedom. So the thought here is that we want this ongoing process to be free from the habit, free from thinking about the habit, and that your expectation is that you go forward and you enjoy all of the things that the new dawn, that new version of you is offering you now. So that doesn't mean that you'll now go through the rest of your life without having any blips or any setbacks, or without thinking about this habit at all, or without missing it, or without being drawn to it. Now, these things are really, really normal. It may also not mean that you have right now completely given it up. And again, this isn't something that, if you are in this position, you need to really be concerned about. So the work that we've done is a work in process. And for some people, doing this work, that step where you transformed the habit will be letting it go completely, and it will feel amazing. But for some people and for some habits, you may find that it's a slower step. So it might be that you're slowly starting to work through, and you're slowly starting to reduce. So if a habit also involves some kind of addiction, or if it would be dangerous for your body if you stopped cold turkey, then the subconscious isn't going to allow you to do that. So the subconscious, and we're working so hand in hand with the subconscious at the moment. This is the goal of all of these videos. It's about really kindly, gently working with the subconscious and helping it to change rather than forcing a big shock. So when we work with the subconscious, we want it to know that we trust it. We need to trust those instincts, trust what we need to do. And therefore, if the body recognizes that a very quick cold turkey style shutdown stop is going to be too much for it, or is going to be damaging for it, then it simply is not going to do it that way. So you may find, particularly with things like smoking, that you slowly start reducing. And then one day you may wake up and think, oh, I haven't wanted this at all. So if you are in a situation where you're reducing, don't think of that as a failure. Think of that as part of this same work in progress. And you can still enjoy this stage. You can still enjoy the knowledge that your subconscious is working on that final stop. So I mentioned setbacks. And you'll notice that I've called them setbacks rather than relapses. And the reason I'm calling them setbacks is because relapse suggests that that's it now. Relapse, you've gone back, that habit is now something you do again. And a setback, although it's something we want to avoid because it can be incredibly distressing, both for yourself and for the people around you, that setback doesn't have to mean that you go back. It doesn't have to mean that at all. So if we look at it as a setback, we also understand that what happens next is the important thing. So when you've had a setback, I really want you to remember all of the discussion we had about shame and that shame spiral and the looking for that self-soothing or the external soothing that comes from feeling that shame. So you will feel this emotion will come up, but I'd like you to absolutely name it as shame. So I'd like you to name it as shame and to tell it that this is something that you are not prepared to let set you back any further. So acknowledging it, holding it, being kind to it, but being kind to yourself and recognizing that you're not going to fall into this spiral. So what can you do to avoid setbacks? Well, the first thing you can do is really acknowledge and listen to that craving, to that desire to re-engage in that habit. So the more that we suppress something, the more we ignore it, the louder it becomes. So I want you to really acknowledge it and to spend some time looking at why this is coming up for you now. So being really kind to yourself, really spending a little bit of time exploring and understanding why this may have taken place. So whether you're thinking about that setback, whether you're craving, whether you're on the other side of a setback, the process really is the same. It's looking at understanding the why, but also really giving it a platform to communicate and really giving it compassion and kindness. So that's the first step, really allowing that to bubble up, allowing yourself to engage with it because it's there and it's real whether you ignore it or not. So the best way is to really have that dialogue. And you can do this by sitting and spending some time by yourself, focusing in on that feeling. You can also do this in a hypnotic way. So you can work with a hypnotherapist to look at why this is coming up, or there are videos and things that you could do to bring yourself into this point to really look at that and see why and where it wants to take you, and to communicate and look at something else that you can offer instead, like you did before. So these are ways that you can really work with that. The other thing to think about is really going back to the thing that replaced it. So looking at every time you want to do the old habit, replacing it with the new habit. And this may be an opportunity now to look at, is this working for me? And if it's not working for you, it's absolutely fine to go back and do that stage, that step where we looked at what do we replace it with, and doing that visualization, that guided self hypnosis again. So it's absolutely fine for this to be a work in process. We don't expect perfection, and it's absolutely perfectly fine not to have perfection. It's how you deal with these little steps, these setbacks, that really makes the difference. And you know that you have the tools now. You know you've got the tools to manage this. So back to the enjoyment. So you might find at this stage you've got lots of people congratulating you and lots of people championing you and really being very proud of what you've achieved. And this in itself might be triggering for you. So that sounds like a bit of a misnomer. I mean, who doesn't want people telling us how great we are? And actually, the reality is a lot of us don't, or parts of us in our subconscious might not. It can be incredibly triggering to have everybody telling you how well you've done, because it feels like a much bigger expectation. It feels like you have to answer to them as well as you if things go wrong. So be kind to yourself at this stage and recognize that you might have to say to everybody, actually, I don't want you to congratulate me. I just want you to continue. Or it might be an opportunity to have a conversation with those feelings in yourself. So really spend a little bit of time thinking about why they're coming up and processing that reaction. So that's something that is absolutely helpful to do as well. But recognizing that it could be difficult to hear everybody saying well done is really important. And that's something that you don't have to feel bad about or find that kind of shame response for. It is, although it will feel unhelpful, it is for a lot of people a normal feeling. So how do you make sure that you enjoy this stage? How do you make sure that you can have that pride in yourself? Well, you don't have to rely on other people championing you, especially if that's something that's hard for you. Tell yourself. Write yourself post-it notes to remind you how proud you are. You can set reminders on your phone to once a week say, I'm really pleased. I think you've done really well. I'm really proud of you. Remembering that sometimes these reminders and these little messages might remind you about the habit rather than how proud you are. So when you're looking at really congratulating yourself, make it less about well done, you stopped this thing, and make it well done, you're doing excellent at looking after yourself. Well done for meeting your goals. Well done for being somebody who cares about yourself and who is in touch with your subconscious. So it's really recognizing how you do this. Another thing you can do if you are a kind of person that really enjoys being bought presents is you can buy a present for yourself. So you can, if you've saved money by not doing your habit, you can use some of that money to really buy yourself that present, to give yourself something. The other thing that you might find is that for some people, in fact, for a lot of people, and there is research that shows this, it makes you happier to spend money on something for somebody else than it does buying something for yourself. So if you're somebody that recognizes this research, that enjoyment and that real kind of feeling of satisfaction when buying something is heightened when you're buying it for somebody else, then go ahead, do that. Let yourself share your good fortune. One way that you can really cement that giving up and really cement that new version of you is taking that money, so taking what you may have spent, or taking that time, using the time that you would have spent and doing something else with it. So letting the subconscious put that somewhere else. So if we're talking finances, finding a subscription or giving money to charity or something regular that you can put that money into. So then there isn't a space in your life for that to come back. And you can do exactly the same with time. So looking at, this is the time I would spend doing this. Instead, I'm going to take up this, or I'm going to do that. And having that one thing that takes that time away, does exactly the same thing, it really creates a complete lack of space for that habit. It creates that understanding and expectation. There's just no room for it. If you can't replace it with time or with financial expectations, then find another way. So think about what you can do to really make sure that your life has that extra something in that means you just don't need, or it's not about needing, it's about there is no space. There is no space for this. So that distraction, that putting your emotional load and your mental load elsewhere can really, really make a difference. So, on to today's meditation, today's guided self hypnosis. And this is one you can come back to however often you wish. So, you can come back to this whenever you need to. You can use it to help you work through any feelings of anxiety. You can use it as a soothing thing for your brain and for your nervous system. So, this and any of the other relaxation meditations you find on my platform will really just let you take that time to just take a pause. And relaxation meditations, relaxation self hypnosis is really, really good for just taking that step out. So you may find that you want to create a regular meditation time and that this becomes a part of your life. And there are so many ways to meditate. You absolutely don't need to listen to a tape. And if you do listen to recordings, you absolutely don't have to listen to mine. Find what works for you. For some people, just going for a walk, just leaving their building, having a wander is really enough to then have that quiet space and that time. And if you can be near some kind of nature, that's even better. So meditation isn't always sitting in a trance state exactly. It can be things like walking. It can be things like spending some time knitting. These things are also helping to relax. But here is the relaxation self hypnosis for this step. Enjoy. And as ever, do not listen to the next part of the tape while driving or operating machinery because it's designed to relax you and make you a bit sleepy. So we'll just start by taking that deep breath in and then very slowly letting it out. A deep breath in and then slowly just let that out. And now let your eyes look upwards. So you're going to find a point somewhere, maybe the point where the ceiling meets the wall, and you're just going to let your eyes rest here. And I'm just wondering, as you're letting that point just come in and out of focus, what your mind is drawn to. And just be aware of making sure that you're sitting in a really comfy position, but it's just your eyes, and your eyes will now start to feel uncomfortable, and they'll start to feel heavy, and you'll start to want to just start blinking. And just let those blinks come. And you'll notice as you blink, your eyes will be shut for longer and longer between the blinks. So now just let those eyelids close, taking away that effort to reopen your eyes. And you know that those eyes closed all by themselves, you just allowed them to stay closed. And that's really how trance works. Your body is leading you into this trance, and you're just choosing to let it happen. And as you get closer to that beautiful state of bliss, you know that everything is going to work together to help take you deeper and deeper into that relaxation. And now, every word I say takes you deeper into relaxation. And every out breath you take welcomes you to that trance state. And every sound and every sensation from the room around you just takes you further, further into that sense of bliss. You feel wonderful. And as you rest, you become aware of a stillness in the air, of a coolness, of that feeling filling your lungs as you continue to breathe in and out. And there's a slight fragrance in that stillness, a sense of green on the air, a sense of freshness, like fresh grass. And as you imagine grass, your mind is drawn to your experiences of grass. And then it's drawn to the idea of those gentle curved hilltops, hills full of grass. And you realize in your mind's eye, you're building up a picture of looking out at green fields and green hills, swelling as gentle bumps, almost like swathes of material, green as far as the eye can see. But each field and each hill a slightly different shade of green. And now as you look, as you breathe in that grassy stillness, you realize there are animals dotted across the land. Maybe that one is a sheep, and this a cow, And there's a gate, and darker green dots across through the edges, maybe a lone trees. And as you look out at the fields, you realize that you feel so connected to this land. And it's almost as though the heart of the land is beating below you, slowly, deeply, with strength. You are safe. And as the heartbeat echoes across the fields, the trees, their energy beats along with it, connecting. And the cows, their hearts beat too, and the sheep's, their heart, all beating in motion, all in togetherness. And you stand on that green hill, looking out, listening to that connection. And you can choose to connect too. It's up to you. But if today you're not ready to connect, you can just listen to that heartbeat. But when you're ready, and maybe it's today, right now, your heart will beat along with these hills. And you can listen to that beat. And as you do so, we're going to count those beats, count those heartbeats from 10 down to 1. And with each number I count, you will go deeper into relaxation. 10, 9, 8, breathing in that beautiful stillness. 7, 6, 5, feeling your own heart and your own lungs connected in unison. 4, 3, 2, letting that heartbeat take you deeper and deeper into peace, into connection. And 1, relaxed, feeling the strength and life within your body, calm and safe. And now you're in this beautiful, relaxed state. You can take that relaxation further and teach your body how to move back into a sense of calm whenever you need it to. Take some deep breaths now and feel that breath starting right from your stomach. Give your stomach permission to be calm with those deep belly breaths. And feel the tension within your stomach release. Let it out like a halo of golden light rising from it. And give your stomach permission now to digest food, to absorb the nutrients within that food. You are safe. And now bring your focus up to the diaphragm and give your diaphragm permission to relax and to calm. And bring your focus up to your lungs, which are already breathing calmly and strongly. And then up to your heart. Remember this feeling. Hold on to it. Pass this feeling to your conscious mind. Remember the pace and depth of your breathing now, so that whenever you want to come back to peace, remember that you can use this strong breathing, this breathing in for the count of 3 and breathing out for the count of 5. And notice any tension within this part of your body, and gently now allow it to release. Like a halo of golden light rising up from your chest. And move your focus up into your throat now. And anxiety might make you feel like you need to swallow, or as though your mouth is dry, or as though there's a lump in your throat. So bring that strong, gentle breath up from the diaphragm and the lungs, and recognize if there's any tension in your throat today. And give your throat and your neck permission to be calm, permission to be still, permission to relax. And as the throat is connected to the ears, focus on the two together and allow any tension within them to release. As that halo of golden light rises upwards. And bring your focus now up to the space between your eyebrows. And stress can cause you to furrow that brow. So you can choose now to release the tension from here, to allow your facial muscles to relax and to see that tension rising away, to see that golden halo rising upwards as it releases all that furrowed brow tension. And push that relaxation right through your body. And as you do so, any tension you've been holding on to also rises up like a golden halo. Sweep that relaxation up through your body like a wave. Treat your body to this amazing feeling as you let it envelop you. You are safe. You are relaxed and you feel wonderful. As you feel your confidence rising. And I'm going to leave you now for a few moments to enjoy this intense feeling of relaxation and healing. and hold on. Hold on to that feeling of strength and relaxation that you've brought to yourself. You are calm, you are capable, you are safe. And now I'm going to bring you back to your everyday consciousness. And I will do this by counting from 1 up to 5. Are you ready? You will use these numbers to reorientate yourself. And on the count of 5, your eyes will be fully open and you will feel fully alert and contented and fully awake and ready to continue with your day. You will feel completely rested and rejuvenated and be feeling wonderful about yourself, inside and out. Let's begin. 1. Slowly, calmly, easily and gently returning to your full awareness once again. 2. Feeling completely rested and refreshed and ready to continue your day. 3. From head to toe, feeling wonderful inside and out. Physically fresh, mentally balanced, and emotionally calm. 4. Your eyes begin to feel sparkling clear and fresh. And 5. Eyes wide open, fully aware, and feeling wonderful. And here we are now, at the end of these 6 steps to giving it up. Ready to make this your new normal. Good luck.